All right.
But
let's talk about Jay-Z. Speaking of crime, Jay-Z denies claim he sexually assaulted minor Rashawn Diddy Combs 24 years ago.
We're going to begin this hour with rap mogul Jay-Z forcefully denying claims in a new lawsuit that he and Sean Diddy Combs sexually assaulted a minor at a party 24 years ago. Jay-Z said it's just an attempt at blackmail, and he called it, quote, idiotic. The suit originally mentioned only Combs, who's facing federal sex trafficking charges. Jerika Duncan has more now on the allegations against Jay-Z.
Cops wanna knock me, DA wanna box me in, but somehow I beat the just like Rocky.
He's one of hip-hop's most celebrated artists, a successful businessman known for launching careers, and he's married to one of music's biggest stars. But on Sunday night, Sean Carter, who goes by Jay-Z, said being named in a civil lawsuit alleging rape is blackmail. According to the accuser, named Jane Doe in the lawsuit, the assault happened at an after-party following the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards when she was 13. She claims she attended a house party thrown by Sean Diddy Combs, who is also named in the lawsuit. She says she was given a drink that left her feeling, quote, woozy and lightheaded. Doe claims she entered an empty bedroom so she could lie down. Shortly afterwards, she said Combs and Jay-Z and an unnamed female celebrity came in, with Combs saying, quote, you are ready to party. The accuser then claimed she was pinned down and raped first by Carter and then by Combs as the female celebrity watched. CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson.
The details of these allegations are really troubling.
What
the plaintiff here alleges that Sean Combs and Jay-Z drugged her and then raped her. It's hard to get more serious than this.
In a statement, Carter responded to the allegations and lashed out at Doe's attorney, Tony Busby, calling him a fraud and stating, I will not give you one red penny, and these allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? Busby has filed several lawsuits against Combs, accusing him of physical assault and rape after Combs was charged in September with federal offenses, including sex trafficking and racketeering. Combs, who was recently denied bail for a third time, pleaded not guilty and is set to face trial for those charges next May. Combs has denied all wrongdoing, his legal team calling the revised lawsuit shameless publicity stunts.
Now, we did reach out.
Wow, I wonder if he really did it. What do you think, Hasan? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't have enough information off of this alone. Tony Busby, the same lawyer as the Deshaun Watson situation. I think that, Jay-Z's response is kind of crazy. My lawyer received a blackmail attempt, called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Busby. What he had calculated was the nature of these allegations of public scrutiny would make me want to settle. No, sir, it had the opposite effect. It made me want to expose you for the fraud you are, very public fashion. So no, I will not give you one red penny. These allegations are heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case. This lawyer, who I've done a bit of research on, seems to have a pattern of these type of theatrics. I have no idea how you have come to be such a deplorable human, Mr. Busby, but I promise you I have seen your kind many times over. I'm more than prepared to deal with your type. You claim to be a Marine. Marines are known for their valor. You have none. You have neither honor nor dignity. My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will surely see this. See the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. I mourn yet another loss of innocence. I think this is Jay-Z is cooked regardless. Jay-Z's cooked regardless for even having any sort of involvement with, whatsoever with Diddy, especially after so much of the Diddler's crimes was exposed. So I don't know. I feel like I feel like there's a likelihood, but this in and of itself, I don't know. There's a 20-year statute of limitations in New York for sexual assault. He knows damn well he can't get prosecuted. No, I know. I suspect that that's like a little bit of legal cover here for him as well. I'm not a fan of Jay-Z. I don't think Jay-Z is a good dude. To be fair, I don't. I think he's not a good dude at all. But that, and also on top of that, his involvement with Sean P. Diddy Combs is already suspect. I think it was when he when he tried to do a crypto school in Brooklyn to uplift like black people out of poverty by doing by helping them get into crypto schemes. Like that's when I was like, that's when that solidified my opinion. But I don't know. My only heartbreak, my heart is supposed, I mean, I'll wait and see. He filed a motion arguing that the accuser should have to reveal her name for smearing him, knowing damn well that would get her threatened or harassed. My heart and support goes out to the true victims of the world who have to watch how their life story is dressed in costume for profitability by this ambulance chaser in a cheap suit. You have made a terrible error in judgment thinking that all celebrities are the same. I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out the Project of Brooklyn. We don't play these types of games. We have very strict codes and honor. We protect children. You seem to exploit people for personal gain. Only your network of conspiracy theorists, fake physics, will believe the idiotic claims you have levied against me. Okay, but like, I don't understand why he's saying, I don't understand why he's saying he protects children. Because, I mean, wasn't he also, once again, aligned with P. Diddy when he was doing a whole bunch of sex trafficking, assault? So, yeah, or even touring with R. Kelly. I don't know.
Out to the accuser's attorney, Tony Busby, for comment, but have not heard back. He did respond online saying that Jay-Z's statement on X saying that he and his client will let the filing speak for itself and support her case in court. Gail?
It seems like Jay-Z's basically saying, bring it on. I mean, normally you don't see a response this forceful, but he's very confident in what he's saying.
Yeah, if you believe you're falsely accused of something,
yeah,
that's a
fight
strong
back.
response.
And that's exactly what he's doing. Thank you, Jerika. Thanks a lot.
Jay-Z is denying allegations he sexually assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was sexually assaulted by both men at a Video Music Awards after party in 2000. In a blistering statement, Jay-Z accuses Jane Doe's attorney of trying to blackmail him. He said further, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away."
Jay-Z's lawyer, Alex Byer, was asking the judge to hurry up and dismiss the lawsuit. For the avoidance of doubt, Mr. Carter is entirely innocent. This is a shakedown. This is a matter of the utmost importance, and we request an expedited hearing. I mean, I get why he would want to dismiss it. Oh, wait, is there more leaks on the manifesto? I doubt it. I don't know if this is real or not.
Would you not agree? He added, "My only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people." Joining us now, Joey Jackson, CNN legal analyst and criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor. There's a lot to unpack here. Joey, I want to start with just the statement from Jay-Z, which is so forceful in its denial. I just read a teeny part of it. It's long, where he says that they should file a criminal complaint. Is that even possible at this point?
So based on the allegations, Jessica, good morning, good to see you. I think that it certainly could be. Why do I say that? Now, he, of course, is more than annoyed, would be an understatement.
Yeah.
He has a family and he has a lot to protect, including his brand. But to the extent that he's saying, hey, come after me criminally, that could be likely. Why do I say that? Because rape in New York, and what's alleged in this complaint, is forcible compulsion. What that means in English is that it's saying that he held her down, raped her, and that, of course, the allegation is that Mr. Combs did the same thing. And so if those facts are actually accurate, it would require an investigation by prosecutors. And if true, right, you could pursue it criminally. Now, with respect to the evidentiary value, yes, it happened 24 years ago, right, more than 24 years ago. But in the allegations, there's a few things. Number one, there's allegation that another celebrity was present at the time, right, in addition to other people. Number two, there's the claim by the victim, right, that she left, that she went and she was seen by a gas attendant who saw her in distress. Number three, that she phone called her dad, who showed up, the 13-year-old, and now removed her. So civil complaint, simply allegations, needs to be proven in a court of law. But if true, it could rise to the level of criminality. And, you know, we'll see what happens, or if the DA looks and investigates.
So what happens now?
So what happens now is this is simply a civil complaint. And in a civil complaint, it goes through the technical legal process. Now, the distinction, Jessica, between civil and criminal, of course, is that civil is for monetary damages, right? The system can only reward you with money. There's allegations that this 13-year-old is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, suffered depression, etc. So now you go to fact-finding, right? Before that, just briefly, there was a demand letter sent. And a demand letter is a letter being sent by a lawyer saying, hey, I don't have to sue you. We can sit, we can mediate it. If we reach an agreement, it never sees the light of day. Jay-Z saying, I don't care about your demand letter. I look at it as blackmail. You want to sue me, sue me. You want to look at it criminally, look at it criminally, but it'll go through the fact-finding process. If a trial is necessary to determine the facts, that's what will happen, but it'll be deemed civil. No indication at this point as to whether or not any criminal investigation will ensue as a result of this.
Yeah, and Jay-Z came back incredibly forcefully against these allegations and really singled out that attorney as well.
Blondie fan 101, thank you for the 25. Give the subs.
I'm paraphrasing here, but greedy, saying he's out to get money, and calling that letter essentially blackmail.
Yeah, and in addition to that, Jessica, also suing the attorney, saying he's intimidating him, harassing him, etc. Now, demand letters are not new. What lawyers do is they send them out as a matter of protocol and practice so that you can expedite the process. At the same time, there's certain ethical standards that you have to use, and you have to have a good faith factual belief that this is true. Now, you can argue this complaint was filed in October, right? Could have mentioned Jay-Z then. You didn't. Why? It was amended now to include him. Are the factual assertions true? Are they fact or fiction? Is it a money grab or not? All of that will be litigated in a court of law, but according to Jay-Z, this never happened, is pure fiction. It is a money grab, and he's fighting for his...
I think it's like the thing is, like, it's a relatively... I feel like it's relatively easy for Jay-Z to disprove if this is untrue. You know what I mean? Like, was he at the party? And was she at the party that he was at? You know? At that point, it's like, these are, I'm saying, if untrue, like in the way that he's claiming, even though it was 24 years ago, how do you prove 24-year-old claims is true? What are you talking about? Bro, they were famous 24 years ago. It's not that it's you know. And also on top of that, usually there are more victims that come forward as well. Quick highlight of the creepy shit Jay-Z has done. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not a fan of Jay-Z. I think a lot of this stuff is just people, you know, I'm bringing up other things like the fact that he groomed Beyonce. I guess she was very young when they first met. But I don't know anything about this process to make a straightforward assessment. You know what I mean?
His name, reputation, and certainly.
Like, I feel like these are, these are very significant. Then you are unlike CNN, who are clearly a fan of Jay-Z weirdly. No, CNN is a fan of anybody rich and powerful. Murray was famous. If he wasn't there, it'll be discoverable, but not the 13-year-old's whereabouts. There is no way there's data on that. Her location will almost certainly not be recorded adequately unless Discovery somehow finds a photo or video. One, Sean P. Diddy Combs, notorious taper of all things. That's number one. Number two, they mentioned the fact that her father actually got involved and got her out of the party. So those two reasons alone are enough evidence. Like, there's enough to at least start the discovery process to figure out if she was there. Yeah, there are multiple witnesses at that point.
The innocence and justice in his view, which is he didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, and you touch on point two that I wanted to ask you about, which was that this was an amendment to this already existing lawsuit. What are people to take away from that? The fact that they're coming back and adding to this now with this specific name.
Yeah, Jessica. So it depends.
And apparently there's a third unnamed female celebrity involved as well.
So common. You could amend lawsuits, right, as a matter of course, and you do, to include certain factual allegations. The interesting thing to me in terms of your question and the takeaway, if you had this information about Jay-Z, it happened allegedly in September of 2000, why not include it in the original complaint? What happened between October and now that necessitated you putting in, and it's a question of credibility. Was he celebrity A, right, as was noted in the October complaint? Is this pure fiction? And what's interesting in the complaint is he really, that is the lawyer, tries to tie Jay-Z to Mr. Combs in so many ways, right? Birds of a feather is the argument that he's making. You can make that argument. You need the facts to sustain it. Let's see if they come up with any facts.
All right, we will see.
Yeah, I mean, that's what matters in this situation. Like, I think it's too early to make assertions beyond the fact that Jay-Z, notoriously not a good guy. Diddy, obviously very bad guy, and now legally liable for a bunch of the bad shit that he did. And it's not only going to stay with Diddy himself. Obviously, there are plenty of other celebrities, high-profile celebrities, that have involved themselves in these parties and whatnot, and have most likely engaged in actions that are illegal as well. So I think that only time will tell. But yeah, I'm good that these matters are coming to light for sure. I'm happy that these matters are coming to light.
Developing now, he calls the allegations idiotic and heinous, and now he says he's being extorted.
Rap superstar Jay-Z is accused of sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl along Sean Diddy Combs more than 20 years.
This straight up is like one of those, in normal circumstances, the most common way that sexual assault or sexual assault against a minor, especially like statutory rape and sexual assault, occurs between like immediate relatives. So in those circumstances, the truth is easier to obfuscate. These aren't high profile people, right? And obviously, for the most part, when wealthy people engage in these sorts of actions at these parties and whatnot, for a very long time, I think people have been able to people have been able to shelter themselves from any sort of legal scrutiny. Okay? But when one major power player gets exposed, they bring down a lot of other people with them as well. Unless it's Jeffrey Epstein, in which case the power players involved are entirely too powerful, and therefore they can escape additional legal scrutiny. I don't think that the likes of Jay-Z and many others who have involved themselves with Sean P. Diddy Combs are going to be able to shelter themselves from legal scrutiny in the same vein. Because they're not Bill Clinton, you know what I mean? So I guess what I'm saying is that there is more paper trail and more documentation readily available in a situation like this than usual, than the ways in which sexual assault against minors usually works, usually happens. So I think that we'll see more information.
Years ago. The news comes after an amended lawsuit was refiled yesterday. The civil complaint
like this would not even be a question if Jay-Z had not involved himself with P. Diddy so openly and so actively. Does that make sense? Like people would just be like, people would, I think, be infinitely, they would be readily available to dismiss such accusations as smears or as someone who's like trying to blackmail you. But you're kind of fucking caught dead to rights when you are so closely involved with the likes of Sean P. Diddy Combs and also on top of that, he has been caught dead to rights already, and he is already going through a legal process for his crimes.
initially filed against Combs in October now names Jay-Z as a co-defendant. Claims the two took turns sexually assaulting the teenager, then unnamed, at a private party after the MTV.
There were two famous rap artists from New York. That's not guilt. Everybody knew Diddy. No, there's a difference, I think.
TV Music Awards in 2000.
Joining us now to talk about these explosive allegations is legal affairs journalist Megan Cuniff. Megan, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
I want to start by letting our viewers know that right after that lawsuit became public, Jay-Z did issue a statement, and it said in part, the allegations are, quote, so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Now, the you in this is the lawyer of the plaintiff.
Like, for people saying like, well, Fat Joe's sitting there next to them, arrest him too, I guess. Yeah, if someone fucking came out and was like, Fat Joe sexually assaulted me when I was 13, yeah, I would apply the same fucking scrutiny to Fat Joe. What are we talking about? Yeah, if Fat Joe not only is sitting next to them, but also simultaneously was like known to frequent Diddy parties, yeah, of course you're going to be like, well, there's some validity to these claims, I think. It's such a weird attitude to take. If it's some random fucking person that hasn't been involved with P. Diddy at all, even if they're in the music industry, and they get like, you know, they get called into question, then it's very different.
Plaintiff Tony Busby, that's who Jay-Z is accusing of blackmail. A lot of people, I think, were surprised by how fiery that statement was. So what are you hearing about Jay-Z's response?
No, I've heard that the response can go two ways here. He can either settle quietly or he can fight. And if he fights, he needs to be aggressive about it. And that seems to be what he's doing here by being aggressive about it. There's also been some filings in the court case from his lawyer that indicates they are ready to take this before a judge and demand the identity of the plaintiff. And then they also want the case dismissed.
So walk us through this, Megan. What also happens next?
The immediate issue, and we've seen this in a lot of other lawsuits that have been filed against Sean Combs, is whether the plaintiff can proceed anonymously. And the judge in this case actually did rule about a month ago that there was reason for her to proceed anonymously under a Jane Doe name. But now that there is a new complaint, that process will start over again. And this will be the first time that there has been serious defense litigation against that. And other lawsuits we've seen have been against Combs, that has favored Combs in the fact that the judge has ordered that the plaintiff does need to identify herself. So that is going to be the most immediate issue here.
Interesting. Now, I know you don't have insider information on this case, but if you could look into your crystal ball or just with your legal knowledge, do you think this is just the tip of the iceberg? And do we expect more celebrity names linked to these crimes that Diddy is facing?
Tony Busby, the plaintiff's attorney, when he announced that he had 120 people lined up to file lawsuits, indicated that a lot of big names could come out. And just in this lawsuit alone, there is still an unidentified celebrity that I think everyone is speculating about who it could be. And also, it could be a very powerful witness on either side. So just in this case, there's another celebrity who could be named. But Tony Busby has indicated there are other celebrities. And if we're going to believe Jay-Z's allegations about extortion, we'd have to expect that he's not the only one being targeted here.
Megan Cuniff, we appreciate your insight. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Megan.
Thank you.